might be surprised to learn this, but what would you say? What would you think if I told you that I have actually won a Grammy? A Grammy for my voice acting performances. Did you know that? Okay, well, first of all, that's not true. I haven't won a Grammy. In fact, I'm not a professional voice actor, but today I'm going to show you my 7 techniques for how I improvise voices playing D&D, and you can use these techniques. Anyone can. It doesn't matter what your voice sounds like. As long as you can talk, you can use these techniques. And it also does not matter if you do them well. And you don't have to be able to sound like anyone else. You don't have to change your voice really to sound like anything. You just have to use some different inflections. You have to do some little different things. I'm going to show you all my techniques. Let's dive into it. This first one is one I like to call the growl. I use this generally to portray creatures like orcs or trolls or big bads or, big evil villains. And I just growl. It sounds kind of like this. Now, anyone can really do this. So just picture yourself being really mad and kind of how if you were standing in line and the cashier was taking forever and not ringing anything up and you have somewhere to be and it's going to be 3 hours, the voice you feel like making, like the one that's like, you're climbing out of an abyss from the hells. That inner voice that wants to be mean, but you don't do it, obviously, because you're a nice person. That's the voice you want to channel. Anyone can growl. I can be an orc. I can be a troll. I can end you with a slash of my club. Anyway, boom, that's the growl. One thing you do have to be careful about with the growl is that it can irritate your vocal cords, so don't be too harsh on yourself. I can do a really aggressive growl, but that is really hard on my vocal cords. So if I go like this, I do a minor growl, and I make sure to drink plenty of water. Generally, it's fine. Now, disclaimer, don't hurt your voice because of these tips. If this hurts your voice, don't do it. This is just what I do. Next, we have a voice I call the higher, softer pitch. And I usually use this to portray either sweet female characters or gentle, kind, or sophisticated male characters. So it kind of goes like this. Figure out where your voice is. If my voice is right here, I'm going to go a little higher and I'm going to talk a little softer. And this is how I portray this voice. You don't have to, fake a voice. It's just about changing your pitch. My name is Isabella. I'm just a maid here at the tavern, and I do so wish I could find a nice husband. Or you can kind of take in this direction. Yes, my name is Luigi. I run the counter here at Consumer Affairs, and I will say that bag of yours is that a magical item because it's just glowing with a radiance. I can't really take my eyes off it. So this is the kind of voice basically higher and softer. And that's what I do for those feminine and more sophisticated characters. And you can do it. Just raise your vocal pitch just a little bit and make it really soft. And then you can accomplish this too. Hey, real quick, do your players ever do unexpected things? Do you ever find yourself thinking, what the heck, all my plans have gone to ruin? These players, as creative as they are, have just gone off on a tangent, and now I don't know what the heck is going on. If you ever feel this way, then I have the perfect tool for you. It's called the Ultimate Plot Randomizer. Ignite your campaign with endless adventure. This ebook contains 4 D100 tables, lets you random roll plot arcs on the fly. Roll on the hook table, the complication table, the climax table, and even on the wild and wacky table to add plot elements that your characters would never see coming. I give this ebook away for free to everyone who joins my email list. It's just my way of giving back and saying thanks to you and giving away a resource that, to be quite honest, I use nearly every single time I play and every time I session prep. If you want to get this ebook, all you have to do is join my email list. Link is in the description. If you sign up, you'll get an email autoresponder sent to you between a few seconds to 15 minutes after you sign up. The time tends to vary, so be a little tiny bit patient. It might take it 15-20 minutes to show up in your inbox. And make sure to check your spam folder. But in that first email, the download link will be available. Click on it, download, print, boom, put with your stuff. Never get caught without amazing plot arcs ever again. Roll random plot arcs for days and days and days. Your player characters will literally not be able to keep up with how many amazing plot arcs you're able to create, and thus you will never have an adventure go off the rails again. I'm kidding. They'll probably still go off the rails. You'll just be way more prepared. Like I said, link is in the description. Grab that. Don't miss it. All right, let's get back to the video. Next, we have what I call the pointed masculine voice. So this voice is almost exclusively used for what I would call male characters who are not like big orcs or trolls or something, but they have like kind of a masculine, forceful type of voice or sound to them. So it'll be like this. And the way that I'll do it is, I'm making my voice right now kind of in the middle of my throat. So it's like like right here. But I'm gonna move it up a little bit, right? I'm gonna move up the sound right here, and I'm gonna point it. I'm gonna point it right at you. And here's what I want. I want you to throw down your weapons, drop your gold. This is a stick up, bud, and you would do best not to resist. Anyway, so that's like my masculine pointed voice. Now, we can accomplish a pointed feminine voice as well. And I like to use this for like basically like female characters of any species really who are going to speak anything resembling human language, and but it's for like forceful, domineering, powerful female characters. So I'm going to raise my voice, but I'm going to make it hard. I'm not going to do this soft voice. It's going to be a hard voice, but the pitch is going to be raised. So you know what I think about you? You and all these men are all the same. All you want is one thing, and it's disgusting. You want my magic items. You know what? I'm not going to have it. Guards, seize them. And then she draws her knife. So that's like the voice I use for like, powerful, kind of like feminine characters. I call it the pointed feminine. And all you have to do is raise the pitch and then project outward. So we're not being soft. We're not going to be gentle. We are going to be hard about it because this is a bad situation. And you know what? I'm mad about it. Anyway, boom. Now, I also have a voice that I call like the alpha female voice. And this is going to be kind of strange, but like when I'm role playing what I would call a very serious masculine character, like very serious, I will stay as close to my own voice as possible because that is the voice where I can be the most serious, right? So if I'm playing a masculine character who is very serious, and you should probably be afraid of him, and he might even be the BBEG, or he's a very top level lieutenant, and he's intellectual, and he's smart, and he's good looking, kind of like me, then this is the voice I'm going to use. But when I'm playing a female character, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically try to emulate my voice, but I'm going to do it in a softer tone. There's going to be a softness to it. Now, I'm not going to raise the pitch of this one. The way that I do this voice is exactly like this. I just make it softer, and I soften all the words to give it that feminine edge. But don't you dare think for 1 second that this character should not be feared, because let me tell you what. I am the kind of woman you do not want to cross. Anyway, so that's like how I call it my alpha female voice. But anyway, boom. Hey, hold on real quick. I have 2 questions for you. Do you love adventure? Do you love random roll tables? If so, then I have the perfect ebook for you. May I present the GM Philosopher's Ultimate Adventure Generator, 163 random roll tables on 310 printable pages governing nearly every aspect of adventure creation. If you love creating adventures and rolling on plat arcs to keep it fresh and new, then this is the ebook for you. Created in ultimate GM Philosopher fashion with random roll tables literally for days and days and days. You will be able to use this ebook to inject freshness into nearly every aspect of your adventure creation. Look at these chapters: selecting the adventure theme, defining the main quest, choosing the setting or location, identifying the main antagonist, determining key NPCs, generating obstacles and challenges, adding complications or plot twists, and more. And in every single chapter, there are all kinds of random tables. Let's take a look at chapter 1 just by itself. Selecting the adventure theme, we have an adventure genre table, we have a primary theme table, setting, environment, tone and mood, secondary theme, cultural inspiration, magic level, tech level, significant supernatural elements, what? Conflict scale, moral alignment, temporal setting, unique adventure hooks. And guess what? If we scroll all the way to the bottom of this chapter, a D20 table of plug and play adventure theme ideas, literally adventure themes you can just plug and play with. And that's only in chapter 1. There are 16 chapters in this book, and many of those chapters have D100 tables. There are over 20 D100 tables in this book. Being one of the newest GM Philosophy products, this ebook, The Ultimate Adventure Generator, is available right now for just $5.99 $5.99. For just $5.99, you can get 163 random roll tables on 310 print-friendly pages. And guess what? It's available right now on my personal bookstore. Link is in the description. And if you purchase this, not only will you be getting literally random tables for days, but you'll be supporting an amazing channel run by small creators who are trying to make a huge difference in the TTRPG space and really bring a fresh element to it and make the game better for game masters everywhere. So don't delay, grab that in the description. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll see you on the other side, and make sure to roll a few D100s for me while you're at it. So another thing that I'll do is if I need a kind of unique type of voice, I will think about and emulate a character, right? So lately I've been watching True Blood, and the character, like the main vampire character, Bill Compton, like he talks with a very southern drawl. Suki, you have my heart. Why do you hurt me so? Or maybe take a character like Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Morty, what the heck? I do all this work. I collect the ingredients, Morty. I collected all the ingredients, and here you are spilling them on the ground. I ask you to do simple alchemy, Morty. This isn't even rocket science, Morty. This is simple alchemy, Morty, and you can't even get the ingredients right. Or maybe a character like Lois Griffin from Family Guy, like Peter. Listen to me. I am so sick of this crap. I clean, I cook, I make the bed, and then you come in here with mud all over your boots and you make a mess. Well, you know what? I am done. Find your own place to drink. Find your own place to sleep. I'm throwing you out. Get your boots, get your dirty socks, get out of my hut. I've had enough of it, Peter. I've had enough. So a couple things to note about emulating characters that helps me is that I need to emulate characters who are like larger than life, like big characters. Like Bill Compton from True Blood has such a larger than life like accent that's so over the top. And like Lois Griffin, like a lot of times cartoon characters like this, they're so over the top that you can emulate them more easily. But here's the trick: you do not need to sound like the cartoon character or the character you're emulating. Just emulating them and taking your performance to a different place than it would normally be toward that character, that's all you need. You just need a frame of reference for how to act it out. And then you'll probably do a very bad impression like me, like I do very bad impressions, but it turns out to be much different than just me talking. And so boom, there's the effect. So the next thing I'll do is something I call fake or bad accents. And the reason I call them fake or bad is because I don't do any accents well, and that's okay. I would say I'm living proof that you do not have to have good accents to use accents in D&D. So I have like this really bad fake, what I call Russian accent. I use it like this. And you know what? You are a little bitch for talking to me like this. You know what? I cut off your hair. I take knife. I take scalp. I take your scalp. Turn around. Right. So it's not good. It's a bad accent, but it's fun. And I use it sometimes in characters. Another accent that I like to do is like kind of like Antonio Banderas, like, do you know, I have the charm. Yes, I am quite charming. How about we go back to my place? I pour you a little wine. I have this wine I got last year in Boulder's Gate. It is very tasty. It tastes like grapes at the sunrise. Right. So it's like very like kind of like an accent, but it's not a good accent. But anyway, so do your bad accents and just own them and do them and lean into them. And people will probably think it's funny. And they do not have to be good for it to be a fun or even a meaningful performance. And then the final technique I use is something I call broken language. So I'll use this for characters who like don't know how to speak the language they're trying to speak, or they speak it very badly. Like, for example, maybe an elf who speaks very broken common, or a human who speaks very broken elf. But I'll emulate that with basically limiting myself to, I'll limit myself to single syllables. And so it'll be like this. I know, see why you no like me. I tried do good. I no word. I try do good. You be bad. I try, but no good you. Right. So it's like it's kind of a fun way to kind of emulate a like not understanding a language, but only knowing enough of it to communicate badly, like in a broken manner. So I call that broken language, my broken language voice. And boom, there's all my voices. I hope that this has been fun, and I hope that this has helped you to maybe have a little bit of courage to do your own voices and your own improv, and learn from me, the master who is not a master of any voices, that you can totally do voices and you don't have to sound a lot different from yourself, but you can just do little things with your voice, little things with your attitude, and it makes a real big difference in role-playing characters. Anyway, shabam, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for coming back for another episode of GM Philosophy in the Morning. I'm here every single day creating videos about the best game in the world, D&D. I'll see you awesome people on the next one.